I am so excited for this video. We are finally in June, the month of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and today we're going to be talking specifically about what I'm reading this summer for my homeschool to help me to become a better homeschooling mom, to feed my soul during these months of rest so that I can start in the fall refreshed and ready and invigorated. And so if you are curious what books are out there for Catholic homeschooling moms, then stay tuned. Hey guys, so welcome back. If you are new, I hope you subscribe. My name is Laura and I have two kiddos, Chloe who's 10 and a half and Neil who's 7, almost 7 and a half. And they are just wrapping up 4th grade and 1st grade. We're actually homeschooling until July. Please pray for me. And we're over here in Germany and they wanted to follow the German schedule so that they could have summertime with their friends. So we had to do some adjusting. It's a little bit painful. The weather is finally getting nice over here. It's been a very rainy May. And but that's okay because I can still read either way, right? So we are going to be talking today about 4 books that I am praying I can get through. 2 are physical copies and 2 are audiobooks. So I like to do a blend of both physical books and audiobooks so that if I'm doing my chores, I do the Fly Lady system. And when I'm doing like my weekly home blessing hour or whatever else, I can listen to the audiobook. And then if I'm sitting out on the back porch and the kids are playing and I want something to read while I'm sipping on some sparkling water or whatever, then or some iced coffee, then I can pick up a physical book. So without further ado, let's get started. My go-to every single summer is this book by Sarah Mackenzie, Teaching from Rest, A Homeschooler's Guide to Unshakable Peace. This is an amazing book, and I tell everybody before you start homeschooling, before you start buying curriculum, if you are concerned at all about how you are homeschooling, if you should be homeschooling, I can't homeschool, whatever it is, read this book. Sarah Mackenzie is Catholic, and this book is full of quotes from saints, G.K. Chesterton, C.S. Lewis, and it's a very good book. And you can get it on Audible. The last time I checked, I think it was really inexpensive on Audible, but I suggest getting a hard copy of this book if you can, because it's one that you're going to want to come back to again and again. So this is my top pick. If you only have time for one book this summer, get Teaching from Rest. It is a nice little thin book, but it is so packed. And if you don't know about Sarah Mackenzie and the Read Aloud Revival, I pray that you will check out the links down below. I will link all of her things, her website, her podcast. She has great book lists. I can't say enough. I found her right when I started homeschooling, when Chloe was about 4 years old, and I was just kind of dipping my toes into things. And you can't talk about Sarah Mackenzie without talking about Pam Barnhill, at least in my book. So the next book on my list to read this year, this is a new one for me, is called Better Together by Pam Barnhill. Strengthen your family, simplify your homeschool, and savor the subjects that matter most. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but Pam Barnhill is also a Catholic. So 2 great Catholic big names in the homeschool arena. And Pam Barnhill is all about morning time. Your Morning Basket is her podcast. She actually used to have 3 podcasts, and then she kind of merged them back into one. I'm going to link down below, of course, all the things to Pam. Pam has a Plan Your Year that I actually own, and it's great. She has a like consistency boot camp that I have done. She is a powerhouse of kind of getting things done and figuring out what's going to work for you for setting up your homeschool. But this book in particular is all about morning time. So blending truth, beauty, and goodness, and creating a place where you can have all ages come together. I mean, this is why we homeschool, right? One of the reasons we homeschool is that we want to keep our family together. We want our children to learn together, to have great conversations together. And so morning time is the way to do that. And I personally blend as many subjects as possible together and only teach the things apart that I have to. The next 2 are going to be audiobooks, so I will put pictures up here for you, but the first one is going to be For the Children's Sake. And this one I found for free on Audible, so if you have an Audible subscription, then you can get this one for free. At the end of this video, I'll talk a little bit about how Audible works in case you haven't done it before. But there's books you purchase with credit, and then there's tons, I mean, so many free audiobooks. And so For the Children's Sake is currently a free one, and that's just a book that's kind of been in the background of the conversation for me since the very beginning, since I started typing in homeschool into Google and reading blogs, and I just have never read it. The fourth book I got is Sarah Mackenzie's newest book, and that is called The Read Aloud Family. So here's a picture, and again, don't have a ton of information about it other than I just knew that I needed more Sarah Mackenzie, and reading aloud ever since I've discovered her podcast and her kind of her mission, it's almost like her ministry, is just this idea that families should read aloud, and it's not just when they're little and they can't read, it's forever. It's into their teens. It's sitting around a fire and reading a novel together and discussing it, or even if you and your daughter, say you have an older daughter and a bunch of little kids, you and your daughter picking out something really beautiful like a G.K. Chesterton novel or St. Augustine or something, and just reading it together, and then even like Lord of the Rings, and then being able to discuss it and come together, and there's just such beauty in that. And that's one of the things I just absolutely love about homeschooling. I could just read all day, except that my voice gives out, which is where audiobooks are definitely a homeschooler's best friend. And so I guess that's a good segue into Audible. So let's talk about it for a minute. First of all, there's 4 free apps, 3 library apps, and 1 app called LibriVox. You can get a lot of audiobooks for free this way. So before I start talking about credits and things like that, let's talk about how to get books for free. So there's 3 library apps. I'm going to link all this below. Hoopla, Overdrive, and Libby. And so those connect with your library card that you currently have, and you can get ebooks, and you can get audiobooks, and you can get sometimes movies and things through those apps. So those are definitely like the first place to start when you're looking for something is there. Now, however, with everything having been shut down, hopefully things are going to start unlocking soon if they haven't already, but with things being shut down, everyone was utilizing these library apps, and so things are not as available as much as they normally are, but it's still a great first place to check. Then you have LibriVox. Now, LibriVox is a free app where people volunteer to read books aloud and then upload them so that you can listen for free. Finally, though, there is Audible. So Audible is $14.95 a month, and that gets you 1 credit. So the first month of Audible is free. So pretty much it means you get a free book for signing up. So what I would do, if you've never done Audible before, sign up, get your free book, and then you can cancel. And sometimes when you cancel, they go, oh, are you sure? Like, we can suspend it, or we'll give you a bunch of credits for this discounted price. And it's up to you whether you think, you want to take advantage of those discounts or just cancel. Or another way to do it is to utilize it for a few months, get a few books, and then you can cancel. The only thing is you never want to cancel while you have credit, because you will lose credit. But there's no harm in canceling and re-upping. I do it all the time. I'll get a bunch of credits, I'll use it for 6 months, and then I will cancel. The only thing is if you cancel, you can't get the free Audible books. So you just have to decide how many books are you going through a month. If you're only listening to 1 book a month, you don't really need the free ones, right? The other thing about Audible is that you can go onto Amazon and see how much the audiobook is. If the audiobook is only $4, like Trustful Surrender, you're not going to want to use one of your Audible credits, because that costs you $15. So you want to use your Audible credits for like $20 audiobooks or $15 audiobooks or $35 audiobooks. Some of them are really expensive. And so if you can get like big series, I buy all of my Story of Civilization with Audible credits, like all their audios. I got like the whole collection of Narnia on there. So I think I was going to get all of the Little House on the Prairie so the kids could listen to that. So it's just there's definitely a bang for your buck if you do it right. So you can comment down below or DM me over on Instagram if you want more information about Audible if you're not already using it. But I find it's really, really like one of those necessary purchases for me every month. It's only $15 a month, and it's really allowing me to have kind of a library at my fingertips. So with that, you guys, let me know down below what your summer reading looks like. Is there a go-to book that you read every summer to kind of get yourself ready again for the fall? Is there a book you've read recently on homeschooling or that you plan to read that you want to share with the rest of us? Let's create this community. It's still really tiny. It's so cute, but let's create community. Let's discuss in the comments, and of course, make sure you're following me over on Instagram, because I post about all things regarding Catholic motherhood and life over there. With that, have a very blessed day and happy June. Bye.